Welcome everybody to our VEC 2022 TED Talk. This is Team Ireland again representing the University of Limerick. We are very excited to be here and to be taking part in the final, and we look forward to presenting to you how we aim to improve the local microclimate of our campus. We just have a few slides just to give a bit of a visual aid as to what we'll be discussing. So just to introduce ourselves, my name is Aaron McAvoy. I am 20 years old and I'm a second year student in UL. I am currently studying geography as well as economics, and I'm from County Galway in the west of Ireland, and my two main hobbies are fishing as well as playing football.
Hi everyone, my name is Jack Erlahan. I am a second year Bachelor of Arts student studying geography and history. I am 20 years of age from County Cork, south of Ireland. My main two hobbies are hurling and Gaelic football, which are two national sports of Ireland, which are very popular here in this country.
So just before we get into our idea, I'd first like to give a quick introduction to our campus and the university itself, just to give an idea of what we're working with. The University of Limerick itself was founded in 1989. However, it was originally established as the National Institute for Higher Education in 1972. That means our campus has been around for 50 years, and this anniversary is something that we will talk about later, as it may have an impact on the outcome of our project. So our campus is home to over 16,000 students and 1,700 staff, and covers an area of around 367 acres. There are around 30 buildings on campus, as well as 8 student villages. So there's usually quite a friendly or a very lively atmosphere when walking around the area. And as you can see from this aerial image, our campus is very unique as it's located just on the outskirts of Limerick City. And sometimes you feel as if you're just in the middle of the countryside. It is only a 3-kilometer walk along the river from the campus to the city centre itself. So we are very lucky because of this, as it creates an open space which offers a lot of greenery, whilst at the same time giving more urban vibe to certain areas of the campus. And then one of the main attractions of our campus is the River Shannon and the Living Bridge. The River Shannon is not only the longest river in Ireland, but also the UK, and our campus lies along both sides of the bank. I find that the river adds a bit of personality to the campus, as well as providing for plenty of wildlife. The Living Bridge then gets its name due to the fact that as you walk along it, it literally moves with you, which is quite a weird experience for the first time. And then the bridge is 350 meters long also, making it the longest pedestrian bridge in the whole of the country. And now I'll pass you on to Jack to discuss the issue we are facing.
So the issue that we wish to tackle is the urban heat island effect. The urban heat island effect is a common environmental problem occurring in metropolitan areas in which the air temperature is significantly higher than suburban areas. In recent times, the urban heat island effect is something that has begun to gain more attention from researchers all over the world. In this case, in terms of the VEC, we feel that it is a great opportunity for us to help inform others of the urban heat island effect and discuss ways in which this harmful effect can be reduced. While this effect affects people in society, it also has an effect on energy use and of the buildings themselves, which we'll be discussing later within the TED Talk. So now that the issue has been introduced, it is also important to note why itself is an issue. Problems such as enhanced anthropogenic heat emissions, reduced evaporative cooling, increased surface roughness are all areas which arise from urban heat island effect. These warmer urban environments can pose a threat to human health, especially in the warm summer months, and particularly people who are exposed to these environments daily, such as people travelling to work. Myself and Aaron met up on campus in one of the labs to begin to set up our mini weather stations. We first had to configure them using the SparkView app, which is the software required to take the data from the mini weather stations and convert them onto graphs. Once we had our weather stations set up, we began to place them around campus in 4 different locations, in 2 urban areas and 2 rural areas, to compare the differences. We left each weather station at each location for 1 hour, while also having a control which was left to collect data for a 2-hour duration. Once all the data had been collected, we returned to the lab and uploaded the information from each station onto the computer and began to compare the results and create graphs. I will now pass you on to Aaron, who will discuss these results in detail.
Thanks, Jack. So when collecting this data on the day, the weather stations gather a variety of different information, such as air pressure, wind speed, air pollution, as well as many more. You can see these weather stations just on the right-hand side of your screen here in the pictures, and these are the locations which we place them on the day. It is important to note, however, that for this experiment, we were just solely concentrating on the temperatures. So just from the urban side, we have a max temperature of 24.42 degrees and 24.45 degrees Celsius recorded. In comparison then with the rural areas, we had a max temperature of 22.05 and 23.25 degrees Celsius. As you can see, there's a clear temperature difference here, which I feel highlights the urban heat island effect taking place on our campus. So then the question arises, how can we reduce this effect? We thought there was three main reasons. So number one is trees and vegetation. Then there's urban microforests, and then the implementation of green roofs. As we saw before from the pictures of the campus, we already saw there's plenty of trees and green areas and lots of little forests dotted around the place. So we thought that the implementation of green roofs will make the biggest impact to the environment and our local microclimate. So now I'll pass you on to Jack again, who's going to go more in depth as to how these green roofs will work.
So what are green roofs? So green roofs are layers of vegetation which have been constructed onto an already existing flat roof. Features of green roofs include high quality waterproofing, which further protects the building, which is protected by a roof repellent system, which acts as a membrane. Green roofs also reduce the surface runoff, which decreases the amount of water entering the drainage system, in turn preventing overflow of water in pipes and gutters. Green roofs also provide a growing medium for plants, which will provide an excellent area for plants to grow and thrive. In terms of planting on the roof, sedum would be the ideal plant to use on green roofs due to its durability. One variety, in particular, Sedum spatiflorum, would be suited to the climate present in Ireland as it can withstand harsher conditions. So now that I've discussed green roofs, I'm going to discuss the further benefits that they include. So as we know, roofs are normally darker in colour, and this attracts heat and in turn putting pressure on cooling systems on roofs. Green roofs would eliminate this issue, resulting in the roof being cooler and therefore the building, while in the colder months also providing additional insulation. This has a run-on effect, which results in energy savings. This is a key factor as with more policies being introduced to reduce the use of fossil fuels, saving money is vital, in particular with the rising cost of oil, incentivizing the installation of green roofs on campus. Also, greenhouse gas emissions are also decreased due to the plants absorbing CO2, which would be produced by the mechanical systems that are present upon the roof. This would also result in a higher oxygen production. Green roofs not only help reduce the urban heat island effect by covering dark roof surfaces with plants, which absorb less heat, but they also solar radiation to evaporate water from the growing vegetation and transpire moisture from the plants. And lastly, green roofs are aesthetically pleasing and can make a normal looking roof in an urban setting vibrant and colourful. So we also carried out a student survey, which is carried out online using the official UL Geography Department social media. And we posed the question to students that would they be interested to see the implementation of green roofs on campus. The results were extremely positive, with 95% voting yes, that they would be interested. We were very happy to see this, and we would expect that if the concept ever came to fruition, that there would be no shortage of support from fellow students in the maintenance of these green roofs. And we also understand that this survey mightn't have reached every single student, and that in the future, if we were to continue with this process, we would set up emails and send these emails to students, and also go through the Student UL Life services to try and reach more students to get more of an input and hopefully gain more support.
So one of the main questions for this idea is where actually on campus would we want to have these green roofs? We decided to choose 3 buildings as a starting point with the possibility of expansion in the future. So as you can see from the pictures here, we have 3 areas of interest or buildings which we have selected in the center of the campus. On your left, we have number 1, which is the foundation building. Then we have number 2, the front section of the main building. and then number 3, the Glucksman Library. And these 3 buildings have a roof surface area of around 37,000 meters squared. We thought this would be an ideal location as it is quite a built up area, as well as being one of the busiest spots on campus on any given day. It definitely has the highest amount of traffic of students just moving from one spot to the other. And then in terms of maintenance, jobs such as weeding would have to take place around several times throughout the year. This is mainly due to birds dropping seeds on the roof from other areas. And we feel that this is important as weeds will compete with the main grass crop for things such as sunlight, water, as well as space and other nutrients. Another job to be carried out would be applying fertilizer every few months or so in order to promote healthy growth. And we feel as though these jobs would create a good opportunity to get students involved on campus and to possibly create awareness in terms of caring for the environment. And then in terms of the cost for creating these green roofs in the first place, the prices can vary from anywhere from €30 per square meter to €75 per square meter, depending on the type of plant used. So now I'll pass you over to Jack just one last time.
So myself and Aaron looked at examples from around the world where green roofs have been implemented successfully and which we gained inspiration from. 2 that stood out to us in particular are the Across Prefectural International Hall, which is situated in Japan, which is the image on the left, and City Hall Chicago, which is located in the United States of America, which is the building located in the image on the right. These 2 projects stand out to us due to the sheer size of the buildings and how successfully they were implemented. The Prefectural building in Japan has implemented a 100,000 square meter park onto the roof of the building, which tackles the urban heat island effect. In terms of the City Hall in Chicago, 20,000 plants have been arranged in rectangular blocks, which include over 150 different species of herbaceous plants. This has had a knock-on effect and has resulted in a colony of bees situating on the roof, which has improved the microclimate of the area. Also, I would like to include that it is a big year for UL as we are celebrating 150 years of the existence of our university. One of the main concepts of celebrating this 50-year anniversary is reflecting on the past, connecting to the past to the present, but also looking forward to the future and transforming our campus. We want to focus on the transformation, and we feel that there is no better time to do this as we present our ideas to implement green roofs on campus. So that has concluded our TED Talk, and I would like to thank you all very much for listening to us. And it's been a wonderful experience, and it's been great for myself and Aaron to present our ideas, and we've been working the past few weeks, and we're absolutely privileged to be here to be presenting this tonight. And I'd just like to thank you all very much again for listening.
Thanks, everybody. Well said, Jack.